Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm here with some more news on the Rick Grimes movies. Brendan Davis, who works for comicbook.com, he had an interview with Entertainment Tonight, and he gave some more information, and I'm going to go through the article and read some of the important stuff, because we did get some new information, which is very exciting to talk about. So in today's video, we're going to go through all that kind of stuff. But before I do begin, if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to subscribe for daily content. But other than that, let's get started. So whenever they announced that we're getting some information for the Rick Grimes movies, I get very excited because I just want to learn as much as possible. Because I don't know when it looks like the first Rick Grimes movie is gonna come out in 2020, which just seems so far away. It's really not. It's only a year away, but man, I really want to see my boy Rick again. But let's go through some of the stuff that they said in this interview, and then also some information from, Gimple and AMC. Now, Brendan Davis did say that they are looking to start production this year, and they also said that there is not a script yet. And Andrew Lincoln is waiting for, Andrew Lincoln said that he wants a really good script to work with. So, so it looks like Andrew Lincoln is also involved in the behind the scenes. He could definitely be producing this film. We know Robert Kirkman is producing it. Now we do know Gimple is writing it. They did confirm that a while back, but they still don't have a script yet, or he just doesn't know, because he said the last time he asked was like a month ago, and they said no, we don't have a script yet. So they most likely don't have a script just yet, but they're currently working on one, and they most likely are going to begin production later on in 2019, because obviously filming a movie is going to take a lot less than filming a full season of The Walking Dead. But season 10 begins filming in May, but that goes all the way until November. So the Rick Grimes movies might be filming at the same time with season 10, or unless they want to save it for after season 10, which I feel like that's way too late. So they most likely are going to begin filming during the summer, around the same time where they begin filming season 10. Also, Brendan Davis did say that Andrew Lincoln is waiting for a good script, so it looks like he is in charge. Looks like Andrew Lincoln is also working behind the scenes, and he's going to probably be producing the movie also, because it's his character. We also know Robert Kirkman is producing it. They did confirm that a while back, or they did confirm that he has some sort of involvement, so it most likely is producing, because we know Gimple is going to be writing it. Now we don't know who's directing yet. I don't see them getting Greg Nicotero. They could get Greg Nicotero, and I'd be happy if they get him. But like I said, if they're filming season 10 at the same time they're filming the Rick Grimes movies, Greg Nicotero might be busy. But hopefully we get some sort of indication about who's going to be directing sometime in the future. If we do, I'll definitely talk about it. But moving on, let's talk about some things that Gimple said about the Rick Grimes movies. So this is what AMC said about the first film. They said, the first film will explore the story of where Rick is taken and what he faces in a new corner of the zombie apocalypse. According to Gimple, this story will be told over years, meaning the films will likely roll out with at least 12 months in between each. Alright, so after reading that, my previous theory was that they're gonna put the first Rick Grimes movie most likely in 2020, and then they would do 2021 and then 2022. Now, they're saying that with at least 12 months in between each. I still think they're going to be, around a year apart, because I think waiting for 2 years for each movie, they could do that, but I feel like, it would be too long of a wait. But Brendan Davis also said in the interview that he doesn't see the show ending before the Rick Grimes movies end. So, right now, Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride, they have signed 3-year deals, which takes them to season 12. But if AMC wants to make that further into season 13, 14, 15, maybe they could make the Rick Grimes movies, a little bit longer and make us wait a little bit longer for them. Because I agree with Brandon here. I don't really see the show ending before the Rick movies ends, or vice versa. I don't see the Rick movies ending before the show ends. I feel like both of them are going to end together, because they are basically one story. Rick is holding those two stories together. And I feel like there needs to be a reunion. Either, the group has to go to Rick, or Rick has to come back to the show. But the way I see it is that the show is going to go to Rick, because they made it clear that Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride, their contracts allow them, or part of their deals is that they can be used in other sort of spin-offs and movies or anything Walking Dead related from AMC. Now, they only announced Norman and Melissa's deal, but I'm sure other characters, if they end up signing a deal with Denai Guerrera, I'm sure her contract has the same exact thing, because I think, AMC knows that there needs to be a reunion, because I said this in previous videos, for The Walking Dead to feel complete, there needs to be a reunion, because I don't see a happy ending for the world. Like, I don't see them coming up with a cure or anything like that, but the main show has to end at some point. And, it needs to be at least a happy ending for the characters, even though if the world isn't going to go back to normal, and it most likely isn't, the characters at least need to have a good ending. But let's move on and talk about the location of these movies, and this is what they had to say about that. They said, Rick Grimes and his exit from The Walking Dead was left entirely open-ended. A helicopter carried them to an unknown location. While the setting of Rick's first movie may change as plans develop in the universe and its plans expand, the original behind-the-scenes whispers claim that the Georgia sheriff took a flight to the northeastern portion of the United States. The Walking Dead has explored an area ranging from Georgia, a portion of the Carolinas, North Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, Fear the Walking Dead has taken audiences through California, Mexico, Texas, and Mississippi. Alright, that's very interesting. So the northeast portion of the United States. So some cities there are like New York, Boston, Philadelphia. Just think about the zombie apocalypse in New York. I think it'll be great if that's where he ends up going, because I don't think they're gonna take him, to a different country or anything. I mean, maybe Canada, but like, there's no way he's crossing the ocean with a helicopter, unless they stop somewhere and they have like some other, plane or helicopter that can take him across the country or across the ocean. I do not see him going to Europe or anything, but I think New York, now that they mentioned this, northeastern section of the United States, I think New York would be a pretty awesome place to see how the zombie apocalypse looks there. So we don't know for sure, but let me know, where do you want to see the Rick Grimes movies go? I know I definitely would love to see him in New York, but you leave your thoughts and opinions about where do you want to see Rick go. Because if they take him to New York, it'll completely be a new world. They could do a lot of cool stuff with the Statue of Liberty and making the place look worn down. And they did say that these movies are going to have like a feature-length budget, and they're going to really approach these as a real movie. So, I definitely think it's going to be possible if they have a good budget. I think if they go to New York or something and they make it look like a zombie apocalypse and everything, destroyed, and I think it'll be really, really cool. But let's move on and talk about the script. So, for the movie, they said, for star Andrew Lincoln, the most important element of going into production on his Rick Grimes movie trilogy. At the time of Lincoln's exit episode of The Walking Dead airing, a script has not been created yet. It has since begun being written by Chief Content Officer Scott Gimple. Lincoln won't be game to bring anything to life unless he sees a script he firmly believes in its narrative. So I really like that. I like how they are, having Andrew Lincoln have a part in his movie trilogy, not just playing a character. He's probably going to produce it and help out a lot because he knows his character very well now. They did say that they are working on a script now, and I really hope, because the things about the Rick Grimes movies we don't really know anything about, which is not bad, because with The Walking Dead, I don't know how this happens, but spoilers for The Walking Dead gets out so much, it's crazy. I don't really follow spoilers that much, but yeah, I don't know, there's something about The Walking Dead where spoilers are all over the place. So I hope the same thing doesn't happen with the Rick Grimes movies. I hope they really keep these under wraps. And that's why if they don't film the movies in Georgia, that'll also help, because it'll just come at us randomly, and I don't think it'll be a bad thing. I think it'll be really cool. And then the last thing they talked about was the familiar faces, where we have members from the Walking Dead TV show possibly coming into the movies because of the contracts. I already talked about that in the beginning, but yeah, that most likely is going to be happening. But anyways, that is the information we got for the Rick Grimes movies. One thing that I'm very, very interested in is finding out who's directing this thing, because I really want to know. I would love to see Greg Nicotero direct, a full movie, but again, if they are filming this at the same time they're filming season 10, he might be busy and it might not be possible. The Walking Dead does have a lot of TV directors, and there's some that recur a lot also, so maybe they get one of them, or they just might hire a new guy who specializes in like TV movies, because there are some TV directors out there. But hopefully we get that information soon, because I'm really, really interested to see who's going to be directing the movie. And then also hopefully we get some information about the filming and when are they going to begin production, because that'll be pretty exciting also. But I am going to wrap it up there. I want to hear from you guys though in the comments down below, so leave your thoughts and opinions about all this new information, and what are you most excited for the Rick Grimes movies, and what do you want to see in them. But again, I am going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating, and for more Walking Dead content just like this, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.